So we often hear that this is a historic election in Poland. I do agree with it.
This is likely going to be a free election, but not a fair election.
The playing field is heavily tilted. The media environment, the financial resources.
A lot is hanging on the outcome of this election.
Whatever happens in Poland, whether it's a pro-EU party or whether it's an anti-EU nationalist party, matters for the composition of Europe.
That in some ways is what this election is about, looking backwards or looking forwards.
Well, I don't think I've seen a country as polarized as Poland, except for two that I know, that is the United States and Georgia.
Poland, unfortunately, is very similar to the United States. You have liberal, progressive-oriented cities against a very rural, more traditional-focused country. And these two different parts of Poland see the world very differently.
The two main parties, the incumbent United Right and the main opposition party, Civic Coalition, are going neck and neck in this election. They are using extremely deterministic language. The rhetoric that they are using is aggressive, and it has even led to acts of aggression against opposition figures.
In my opinion, Polish society has been partially deprived of the access to unbiased information about government actions.
The current Law and Justice Party came into power in 2015, and very promptly upon coming into power, they manipulated the media environment by taking control over the public media, the state broadcaster, and turning it into a mouthpiece for the regime.
So in many ways, constricting the openness and the independence of democratic institutions and of media.
That's why in our research, we have been recommending the international community to be telling Polish authorities they need to stop diverting resources from state-owned companies, stop pressuring private media, start to implement the judgments of European tribunals around the rule of law, and other steps that they could take to make it less unfair.
I would call it a watershed election, because the Poles decide on whether they want to have a nationalist or an internationalist country, a pro-European or a Euro-critical country, and that matters greatly for all neighbors and for Europe as a whole.
The trajectory of Poland will really determine its place in Europe. The two main parties represent entirely different worldviews when it comes to what Poland should be doing in Europe and who its allies are.
Should it be outwardly oriented, strong alliances within the European Union or NATO? Or should it just only have one major ally, the United States, and it doesn't need the rest of Europe?
We might be facing a period of political instability, or we might be facing a new period of Poland's place in transatlantic community and in Europe. A lot is hanging on the outcome of this election.
GMF is right there standing shoulder to shoulder with the Polish people as they decide in a very important election what the future of their democracy will be. We stand for democracy, and we're so grateful to have Poland as an important partner in our work.
I would like to see the international community speaking a bit more vocally and clearly about the ways in which the election is unfair, speaking to the need for us to all live up to our values around fair elections, and that includes a public media that actually serves the public, not partisan interests.
This is a historic election. It's the most important election since 1989 in Poland.
The opposition believes that Polish democracy hangs in balance.
While we want to know what the outcome is, we should always remember that one side is running uphill.
Only informed citizens can make informed decisions, and this is especially true when going to the polls. So only when citizens know how they are governed can they hold their governments accountable for their decisions and actions. And information is power and our fundamental right. And we have to defend it by taking part in the election.